Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. In today's video, I want to talk about SoFi and Robinhood. For the most part, we got some meta to talk about. We have some Coinbase to talk about. We have some general market news to talk about. But it's a Friday, so nothing's going too crazy right now. But hopefully everyone is doing well. Okay, let's jump into it. First up, we have to talk about SoFi, this huge news that we ended up seeing from, well, it actually wasn't a SoFi employee at all. It was actually a, what do you call it? Oh, geez. Okay, here we go. Southwest Airlines employee. And what they had to say was quite interesting. Big news. The first day since launching the Southwest Airlines debit card, what it doesn't say here is powered by Galileo Technologies, a tech company of SoFi, has been nothing short of incredible. For most product launches, our forecast models are spot on, not this time. New account volumes have exceeded projections by a wide margin. So much so that one step into the account opening process hit a threshold and required us to quadruple capacity overnight. Quadruple. It's always great to beat a forecast, but what's even better, meeting an unmet need in the market. Welcome to Rapid's Reward Debit customers. We're thrilled to have you on board, and we know you're going to love it here. How freaking cool is this? This is a card powered by Galileo Financial Services, okay? And it's essentially quadrupling their expectations and just destroying forecasts. So from one customer perspective, this is fine. I mean, this is not bad news for SoFi, right? In no means. But what this really means is they're going to take this data, see how much they've crushed from Southwest Airlines, go to other airlines, other hotels, other, cruises and loyalty or other businesses that have loyalty programs just like that, and say, we did a launch with Southwest Airlines and look how unbelievably successful this was. They had to quadruple their capacity. The person that signed Galileo on board is going to get a huge raise. They're probably going to get promoted for signing up this program. I mean, this is huge. Okay. So, that is going to be quite big. Why is SoFi not $36 now? This stock deserves it. Why 36? What's the, you got calls or something? That seems like an odd number. But, yeah, I mean, stocks don't have to essentially adjust to the price that you want it to in the time frame that you want it to. There's been some jitters in the market. Government shut down a little longer than expected. Potential chances that there's not a rate cut in December is also giving people a little bit of jitters in the market. If we take a look here really quickly, you can see after Jerome Powell's hesitation from last meet that for December 10th, their meeting date, which was at a 97% chance of cutting, is now at a 69.8% chance of cutting. Okay. So we'll see. And it did end up hitting, it was 31 before earnings. Yeah, but the market's forward looking, right? It's not that people go, oh, you know what? We're betting on this company to make the same amount of money going forward. No, they expected it to make more over time. I mean, it definitely was a large beat, but sometimes these are buy the rumor, sell the news events. Overall, I still think it's going to go up over time. Do I still use Koifin? No. Fiscal AI has solved all my Koifin problems and added a bunch more features like segments and KPIs that Koifin just doesn't have, so I don't use that anymore. Tanner, are you still bullish on BM&R? For me, it's dead money currently. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on where Ethereum goes. From everything I'm seeing, there's more and more use cases for cryptocurrency. Even things like prediction markets, which for the most part run on blockchain, is just exploding in their use cases, right? It's not all just about buying the next coin that wants to go up, or buying a picture of a rock that's worth $60 million or something like this. No, there's real use cases now. People are betting against others. People are sending money worldwide. People are setting up agentic commerce solutions. A lot of that has to do, or a lot of that requires blockchain, microtransactions, all these things. And honestly, guys, BD here is so right. We need to sometimes just zoom out a little bit and see where SoFi has been. Continuously focus on the data, right? That's what's got us here in the first place. If SoFi was down at $4, you've watched it essentially go from $20 down to $4. You would think, oh my God, this company is a business that's going BK. It's going bankrupt. But if you focus on how the actual performance is done, you would have seen that recovery needed to happen, right? Continuous growth in revenue. So total revenue each and every year was continuing to climb. Well, that happened. We went from a negative earning business to a positive earning business, making lots of money. And there can be large YouTubers, that might be into tech spaces or other investments, maybe SaaS spaces, and they can come out with videos that say, hey, SoFi is not a good investment because for every dollar that they make, they're losing $1 in free cash flow. I'm not saying any names. Those people are 100% wrong. They don't know anything about how free cash flow is calculated. They don't understand that whenever SoFi ends up signing up a loan for held for sale, that's a negative part of their business because they're moving part of their balance sheet. SoFi will forever in its time, as long as it continues to be a bank and hold loans for sale, that they're going to have negative free cash flow. That's not going to change. Okay. So this is why, they tell you to look on an adjusted EBITDA basis, on a net income basis, on, pick the term that you want, but free cash flow is not going to work. Okay. But yeah, it was, and those videos get a lot more views than I do. Doesn't mean he's right. It was the same negative attributes that saw us at 4, now is seeing us at the $30 ranges. Wonder what happened. Okay. Any thoughts on PayPal? Have you bought anything since earnings? No, I've not touched PayPal in probably over a year now. No, not over a year, because I sold in 2025. But yeah, it's been a while. I have not gotten back into it. It's not something that I've really been looking into. You know what I've really been looking into now is Meta. Honestly, I feel like I'm going crazy sometimes where I'm buying these names like Amazon or Google or Nvidia that just get these huge sell-offs. It was Nvidia around April, right? I was buying it under $100 a share like crazy. Then I switched over to buying a bunch of Google. Then we ended up buying a bunch of Amazon. And now here, when they're all running, Meta ends up getting a massive haircut. Okay. So it's just a matter of if it's deserved. Stock now at $648. Okay. Over the last 5 days, they're down 11%. I don't know if that is the quarter that we just saw. I mean, I think we saw pretty unbelievable earnings. And let's go ahead and jump to, I want to show you guys the Mag 7 names on a forward PE basis really quick. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So Meta has always been roughly, lower than the other players, but it's always been Google at the bottom. However, Google has continuously put up great numbers, and so they are actually at a 26.3% forward price to earnings, which has placed them at, the most expensive point that they've been over the last year or so. Okay. However, Meta, after this last earnings, you could see in red, massive drop. Now the cheapest Mag 7 name and trading at a 21.8 times forward PE for one of the most diverse, high earning, fastest growing, I mean, just a conglomerate of a social media business. Advertising is going nowhere. It's literally AI proof. Okay. In fact, it only gets strengthened by artificial intelligence. And that's what Mark Zuckerberg keeps telling us over and over and over is he's saying we need to be at the forefront of, artificial intelligence so then we can continue to push advertisements, increase the amount of impressions, the amount of dollars per impression, all of these different things. So they pushed more ads this time around. They ended up growing the amount of users on their platform. Threads is doing great. Instagram's doing great. WhatsApp continues to grow. And that's not accounting for what Mark Zuckerberg's next play will be. How old is Mark Zuckerberg? He's young 40s, right? He's 41. You're seriously betting on one of the okay, this is a critique that I get that I completely understand. If you feel like Mark Zuckerberg is having a negative effect on people's social anxiety, the way that they communicate with others, how people feel about politics in the world and their community, and all of these things, and there's a moral, objection to investing in Meta, I understand. Okay, do you? But if you're looking at this as a blank slate, this is the business that you're investing in. Okay, extremely high margin, unbelievable CEO that's ran this from essentially nothing to one of the most powerful businesses in the entire world. American ran, insanely focused on the future of the business long term, not looking for quarterly hits, but worried about this company a decade, 2 decades from now. Dominated in the social space when they had no hardware bundling, anything, just competed on a spec basis and dominated against the biggest players, against Microsoft, against Google, against all of these players. They all tried their hand at social media and all lost. We don't remember, what was it called? Google Plus or whatever, Google Chat. They just couldn't compete with Facebook. Okay. No one was getting off that site. So, they fought hard and won, and now they're getting into hardware. They're going with glasses, but who knows? Maybe they'll end up getting into smartphones or something like this, trying to compete on that field. I mean, right now they're focused on the software side, slightly into hardware. I think if you were to look out 2 decades from now, will Mark Zuckerberg continue to win? I would venture a bet that he does. I would venture a bet that his business remains at one of the highest earning, largest multiple businesses that you could put your money on over the next couple decades. And the reason is because he's so good. And this is a strength, by the way, to push his chips. Jensen did this as well. Jensen was a psycho with this as well, betting the whole farm on what's next. And a lot of people punished him with the metaverse and everything like this. And sure, the stock can continue to fall if he's wrong about AI glasses, if he's wrong about his bets on artificial intelligence, but I personally don't think he is. So he's going to continuously make large bets. He's not running this as a value stock. This is a growth stock. This is, what's the saying? Like Lambo or homeless. Like they're betting the farm every time. They continue to be cash flow positive, betting a lot on artificial intelligence, but also not relying on a lot of other businesses. They want to own the data centers. They're still going to do a lot of third-party, cloud providing and stuff like this. But because the natural size, names like Mark Zuckerberg or names like Meta and OpenAI are also looking to set up their own data centers as well. So overall, very, very bullish. Evan, what's up, man? Are you in the Meta space? Are you in Meta? By the way, I lied to you guys. I said I was going to sell Reddit. I have not sold yet. So, maybe it will do poorly over time. But right now, I believe it's going to do well. Up 7.5% to $209 a share at close. By the way, Robinhood up 6.3%. This is another person that I think just continuously bets the farm, believes in what he's doing. Vlad Tenev is democratizing finance. He also believes that it's something that's just great for markets in general. I mean, if more people can invest, then more ideas get funded. He ended up tweeting this out. And when capital formation expands, entrepreneurship flourishes. That's why Robinhood is doing what they can, not just to monetize or modernize markets, but to help the next generation of builders thrive. I honestly believe that, and especially with the settlement of movement of money as well. I always find that just ends up leading to more and more growth. Like I think people downplay the importance of, you know, what do you call it? Like the speed at money movement of payments. People always downplay it. Okay. Picked up some Shift 4 at $66. I mean, at some point you got to look at this name and say like, hey, is this really what let's just take a quick peek at this name. I think I have a chart on this, right? What are we looking at right now? Market cap. So Shift 4 is down here. dLocal and Shift 4, some of the cheapest payment names that you could buy out of this list. I mean, they're not the large names like PayPal or Adyen, Toast right in the middle. But let's go ahead and look at PE really quick against these businesses. And I will also look just really quick, see what's happened to Shift 4 over time. They were earlier trading at nearly 41 times PE back in July, now trading at 26.9 times. But on a forward basis, Shift 4, oh my gosh, is it now the cheapest out of any of these names? 11.7 forward PE. Cheaper than PayPal on a forward PE basis. Okay. That makes me think, what is... I'm just going to compare this really quick to just PayPal and Shift 4. So, okay, wait, hold on. I want to see this. So what does this look like now? Yeah, PayPal has a higher forward PE than Shift 4. They've always both been very cheap, but let's take this away really quick and let's type in price to free cash flow. I just want to see this. I'm not expecting a certain answer. Yeah, the exact same 11.4 times. Okay, you can buy PayPal right now, or you can buy Shift 4. You can buy PayPal, or you can buy Shift 4. Shift 4's price to sales 1.3 times. PayPal's price to sales 1.9 times. Okay, now let's look at revenue growth over 1 year. Let's zoom this because, I mean, ever since COVID, Shift 4 has grown faster than PayPal. But let's look recently. So they haven't shown earnings yet, which is expected to reaccelerate this quarter. Okay. So PayPal in Q2 put up 5.11%. Shift 4 put up 16.8%. And by the way, they are expected to reaccelerate. They want to get, for the next 3-year compounded annual growth rates, they want to get to revenue growth of 30+%. This is this is getting stupidly cheap. Like ridiculously. Can I see margin here? What do some of the margins look like? Yeah, I expected PayPal to be at a higher margin. I mean, they're a much older business, but that's not even that far off. I mean, no, now I'm lying. That is far off, but still. Considering the fact that their free cash flow Wait, let's see. What's the free cash flow margin? Free cash flow margin. Free cash flow margin last quarter was higher for Shift4, but we'll see if they're able to pull out a higher rate than PayPal. Maybe not, because they had such an acceleration up to 20%. But I also expect that Shift4's free cash flow rate will also increase. I don't know, guys. Like, I'm gonna have to freaking like, I could probably see myself under 70 now, like maybe doubling my position in Shift4. If you believe in the name. So, okay, wait. Let's. Sorry, guys. I've been doing this more often, especially on Fridays and stuff, where we're just sort of looking into names. It's just, I got to do this work anyway. Okay. By the way, they show off earnings next Thursday in the morning, so I'll be live. I would highly suggest that people check that out if possible. But volume on their company last quarter grew 25%. Actually, I probably could have looked at this on Fiscal AI, because it'll actually show us the real growth here. One sec. I might play earnings on Shift4, because this seems a little stupid. I might have to play earnings. Okay. Payment volume on Shift4. Let's switch this to quarterly really quick and drag this. Remember, this is expected to re-accelerate. So although it's shrinking, this is not going into the floor. This is just expecting to re-accelerate as they've made more acquisitions very recently. But now they're processing $50 billion of payments. Let me zoom that out a little bit. Where they have been at very, very high compounded rates of payments, that will probably stay in the 30 to 35% range. Okay. I would seriously, don't trust me. Don't trust me on this exclusively, but I would seriously look into this name. This is pretty incredible. Okay. Sorry, I'm seeing a lot of the comments. You guys want me to get back to the SoFi stuff? I've said my piece. We'll see what happens. Okay, one last thing. I think that people follow share prices way too much. I said this at the beginning. I think people should follow fundamentally. I've been on an absolute tear recently with some of the names that we've predicted, and a lot of it is honestly just continuous performance. Not breakout names, just doing continually well, while people expect the worst. People expected the worst with Amazon. People expected the worst with Google. And really all we saw was them just continuing to do what those companies do best. Unless you think something's going to change there for Shift4, which I don't. Yeah, they're on top of agentic payments. They're on top of crypto payments. They're talking about all of these things. So I would not change my stance there on that name. Okay. New data points for SoFi really quick. In the SoFi app, what we end up getting to see is that how many people ended up signing up for SoFi Invest. Look at this. Over 94.6 thousand SoFi Invest accounts opened in the last month. In the last month. This was for October 31st. So October added 94,000. They added 181,000 accounts in all of Q3 alone. So this is more than halfway of Q3 in the first month of Q4. So people are looking to invest and they're using SoFi Invest. Now we're going to have crypto this month. We're going to have what was it? Crypto this month, level 1 options, Many new products like that. So new ETFs as well. They now have an AI-based ETF. Could be pretty exciting. Could be pretty exciting. By the way, this is a SoFi announcement. So this is not guessing or anything along those lines. That's just on their own terms. Okay. Yeah, it could be a 1 million, 1 billion quarter. I mean, I don't want to hype up again. I was definitely wrong. Well, to be fair, I didn't actually call for 1 million, 1 billion. I said there was a higher chance than ever that we could see a 1 million new member quarter. I think my prediction was 960 or 980,000. But yeah. That would be 60% quarter over quarter SoFi invest. Well, it'll also have to depend going forward how much growth we see in the invest based on how good markets are. So if markets turn sour into the rest of the year, it's not going to grow as fast as what we just saw in October. But if there is a Santa Claus rally, and what we actually see is a lot of people getting very hyped up on strong consumer spend, we could be in a pretty good place. And that's going to benefit all the companies that we cover. That, payments goes into spending. It's great for advertisers because advertisers want to get ready for all that spend. So we're kind of in a great spot across Google and Amazon and Facebook and payment names like Shift4 and SoFi is going to benefit, and all those types of names. So yeah. Yeah, Nathan, honestly, now that they're under 70, I'm getting pretty excited for Shift4 as well. I mean, the CEO, Jared Isaacman, tweeted out, he said, we're not the same as Fiserv. They had a tailwind that sort of ran off, and then things looked really bad. And then he sort of put at the end, wait for earnings or earnings next week or something like this. You think he says that and then misses? I mean, that would be a shock. I feel like people should be buying more when the market goes down, but yet the opposite happens. Yeah, there's a term, maybe some people have heard it, where bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. And the pigs, unfortunately, in this scenario, which usually happens, is the investor that doesn't. They want to get into it because it's fun. They don't realize that this is a lifelong game. And then they quickly find out, or not find out, they quickly think that the market is rigged against them. And so they buy because their friends got rich, and then they sell whenever they start to lose money. Because they think that because they've lost 10% so far in that holding, that it's going to go down to zero, so might as well save that 90. Rather than wait for it to recover. Is Shift4 a shortcut? A shortcut to what? The name Shift4, yeah, literally, Hong put it in here. Shift4 on the keyboard is literally the money sign. That's how they get their name. They're a payments company. And it wasn't their original name. They were United Bank Card, and then they changed their name to Lighthouse Network. And then they acquired a company called Shift4 Payments. And so they realized that they were like, wow, that name is so much better. Until they go down, and then everyone in the chat types shit4. And then that's the problems that I have to deal with, I guess. Off topic, sorry. Will you be doing a video about ETH and BMNR in the future? I'd love a good update that is sound. Well, yeah, I'll definitely be doing an update. I try to get out an update every Monday whenever they update us on their total holdings. This week is a little bit different because they also did an updated presentation. So we can go through that as well, which was quite exciting. They definitely added some new details there. It's just been very busy with, all the important tech earnings that we had, and next week is no different. I mean, it's even more busy because I have Monday earnings, and then I've got morning earnings, and then I've got late stream earnings. So next week, for example, we have Fubo I might do, Palantir and Hims. We're going to do Uber, Shopify, AMD, Supermicro, Kava, Upstart, Axon, Pins, Toast, Kratos, Copang, Lemonade in the morning for Wednesday. I want to cover. And then we have Robinhood, IonQ, AppLovin, Duolingo, Joby, Chime, Qualcomm, ARM, Elf, DoorDash, Lyft, Snapchat, like just so many names on Wednesday. Thursday's Datadog, Shift4, Shark Ninja, Celsius, D-Wave, Oscar in the morning. Like, come on. When has the morning earnings ever been that packed? And then after, we have SoundHound, Airbnb, The Trade Desk, Block, DraftKings, Opendoor, MP Materials, Archer, Iren, Affirm, Take-Two, Monster, Peloton, like huge, like really, really popular names. So we actually have Stoneco as well, and some of those smaller names that I like to cover. So yeah, it's going to be packed next week as well. I mean, it's not a time for vacation for me. And then even the week after that is packed. Holy crap, man. Wow. Okay. That's fun though. That really is fun. I mean, if you like investing, it's your season. What's in the week after? Another full week. Yeah. I don't want to read it all out again, but yeah. Been holding a big position in Datadog since 2001. I'm pretty sure SoFi is a big customer of Datadog as well. Okay, let's see. Him's prediction, brother. I don't really have one. I'm not a healthcare guy. I like following it because it's a big, or like I will be covering earnings because it's a big retail name, but I'm not making predictions or anything along these lines. Yeah, I'm probably going to be playing Shift4 earnings. I mean, don't follow me into this, but I think people are expecting some sort of Fiserv level deterioration or something like this. And I just can't imagine that being the case. I mean, I met with this whole team during Investor Day. They started to invite some retail investors out and they wanted to... what do you mean? I'm literally wearing a costume right now. You don't know who I am? Addly doodly. Or whatever. Okay. What's your top 3 holdings right now? It's Nvidia, Shopify, Tesla. It literally says right there, bro. I made it pretty easy. Okay. Where's the green sweater? I didn't have one. I thought I'd put on the pukey green t-shirt instead. I had a pink undershirt to go under it, but I was setting up a bunch of stuff and yeah. Okay. You look fantastic. Thank you. See, somebody enjoys the costume. No, I'm actually hosting a party today that this man right here was supposed to come to. I invited 30 plus people. I'm like, hey, you know what? Tevis is in the area. You can meet some of my friends and everything. So I invite him. And then he goes, no, I'm going to go hang out with my sister. Loser? No, I don't live super close to him. So it's a little bit harder. But yeah. But anyway. So I've got that, but I still squeezed in a live stream. I do not want to miss this live stream for you guys. But right after this ends, I'm partying. I'll let you guys know if I actually drink or if I just stay sober. You need a Bible? Oh, okay. I thought you were just making like a comment about my life choices or something, but I think that is related to the Ned Flanders. Okay. No. Tesla's not in my top 3. If you guys don't remember from earlier this year, I ended up selling my entire Tesla position and rotating that into Nvidia whenever Nvidia was really cheap. I think that there's a like there's a chance that Tesla continues to do very well, but I think that there's an extremely high chance that Nvidia continues to do well. So I've just no. Okay, sorry. If I said Tesla, I didn't mean Tesla. I meant Nvidia, Shopify, SoFi. Old habits die hard. Not Tesla. I hold no Tesla. Sorry. My bad. SoFi is my third biggest name. I saw a bunch of Tesla comments and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I was like, no, I hold 0 Tesla. And honestly, it goes down to one slide. If you just look at their PE ratio, I just don't feel comfortable at that price. I'm not anti the business or what they're trying to do, but I think you know what, it's hard for me to invest in companies that are I mean, I do hold some expensive names, but you can say that Nvidia is expensive. But whenever you look at Nvidia versus Tesla, there's expensive and then there's like, okay, this is price for perfection. Okay, I'm aware. I'm sorry, guys. Please forgive me. Shift4's fair value, I mean, honestly, well, okay. Keep in mind, things can go wrong. Okay. I'm not saying that they are going to continue to win. There are definitely some things that are hard pills to swallow for Shift4, even me. They make a lot of acquisitions that can be very hard for the business to, and even what Fiserv is having problems with. Having so many different tech stacks and modernizing and acqui-hiring all these new employees to get them onto the Shift4 culture and change and the way that they get paid and the commission. I mean, it's just headache every single time that you do an acquisition. And they do a lot of them. So I wonder how many bubbling up problems that they're having with just a spaghetti of a tech stack. I worry about that. Okay. Then I also worry about, Jared Isaacman maybe not being as involved. To my understanding, he has obviously had his focus on other things like maybe NASA again, but that he's still involved in the distribution across, leadership and he chimes in for things. He has a lot of his, net worth tied in the business still. So he doesn't want this continuing to fall. I mean, he takes a financial hit whenever it goes from, $140 down to 70. So these types of things are important to consider. That said, payments is going nowhere. It's only going to continue to accelerate as the move from a cashless from a cash society to a cashless society continues to happen, that their TAM just continues to expand. Then they're going international and they're winning in multiple different segments. They're getting into unified commerce and winning huge customers like airlines. Okay. They can compete in so many different verticals. In that respect, or in that, from that perspective, I think the level of growth that they want to achieve, and by the way, I think their lowest target for growth over the next 3 years is above 20%. I think it's like 22% is their lowest target for revenue growth. Cashless society is dystopian. I mean, maybe cash will have a, some form of business, but each and every year we use less and less cash. It's not like I'm not even making a prediction. It's just like, look at the trend. Like if you just see something over multiple decades just go in a single direction, like we're using less cash. And then also the amount that you can you benefit from spending digitally more and more now. Instant settlement, cash back, ease of use, no loss rate. Like, so there are benefits now over time that are stacking for digital payments. And by the way, whenever we get onto more stablecoin rails and cryptocurrency really starts to take over some of those, procedures, that's only going to increase over time. Like the benefits of not using cash is going to increase. What stock do you think is going to grow the most in the next year, value-wise and revenue-wise? Thanks. Out of any stock. I think the answer has to be NVIDIA. Maybe a cop-out answer. But if you're talking about which company is going to grow revenue the fastest and also maybe add the most amount of value, I'll let you guys decide on whether I'm talking about a percentage basis or a just nominal value or nominal dollar percent, but or dollar amount. Sorry. But yeah, NVIDIA is going to do really well. You guys have to remember, my highest conviction play in my portfolio is NVIDIA, like, by a large margin. More than double the next biggest play in my portfolio. Okay, now my 25% cash will go into NVIDIA. I mean, honestly, do you? Like, I know you're trying to get under my skin because I always say don't follow me into these trades, but like at some point, like there's nothing I can't control 50,000+ people and how they agree or disagree with the words that I say. It's just my opinion. Half the things I say are just, my feelings. Okay. Zaddy Wood said, did you buy the BM&R dip? Not this dip that's been dipping this much. I've just been buying a lot of tech names and stuff, but I do need to get into BM&R and then probably Shift 4 as well. Well, it's under 70, and I might even do that today if I still can. But yeah. Okay. Thinking of selling Tesla for NVIDIA, SoFi, BM&R, not seeing the $600 for a while. Remember, like as long as you have conviction in those names. I mean, this looks like a message that has been saying things that I've been saying, like selling Tesla and buying, these three really cool names. But you also have to have conviction in them. Because if something does go wrong, like what's happening with BM&R right now, and we go from 60 down to 48, are you going to feel confident? Because honestly, guys, for real, I've got an iron stomach. Like, I'm not worried at all. Probably to a scary degree, how little I'm worried about it. But yeah. Already have 6 figures in the 3? All right. Well then, yeah, that's less concerning then. Would you start a position here if you had no BM&R? Definitely. This is a lower cost basis than what I hold BM&R at. Does that mean that I would start a position for you? We have very different. We might have very different timelines. What we're willing to bet on, but like for real, I have not. I'm already holding BM&R. This is just a lower cost basis, and I'm very willing. If my conviction leaves a name or I think that the thesis has changed, I will sell for a loss. Definitely. Also, another person in chat, Josh, who definitely has an iron stomach. This man has held millions and millions of dollars in SoFi stock. At one point, I think he was full ported on SoFi, and this stock was falling down into the 4s, 5s, and 6s, and he held through. Boy, oh boy, is he laughing now, right? I mean, his position, if we end up breaking through that $30 mark again, it's going to be like north of $10 million on one name. Thoughts on Open Door, please? I really like Kaz. And I don't think that the Open Door business model works today, but I have huge belief in the Shopify culture. And if he brings that to OpenAI, I don't know what they're going to create. But if you're asking me to judge it on today's business model, I don't like it. Where are we going to be in the future? Yeah. Can you do an interview with Josh? I have done interviews with Josh. I think we've have 2 videos out. Josh, if you can remind me, I think we've done 2. Or either he's been on the SoFi Weekly back in the day, and then we did an interview as well. Tanner, you're the man who drinks coffee at night. You fear nothing. Cheers, my friend. I got to be up late tonight anyway, so I'm not that hard. Okay. Yeah, Josh is Noto's nephew. That's funny. SoFi Weekly in one interview. Yeah, so I've spoken with Josh. We got to do another one, Josh. You got to tell me what the heck you're spending this money on. When do you invite me onto the yacht? I'm sipping whiskey to down the shift 4 pain. Happens. Okay. Let's go through really quickly. Actually, let's see if there's a... See, shift 4 is not even a known name. There's not even a Polymarket prediction on whether they beat earnings or not. I'll have to... Okay, wait. What the heck is going on here? Does Grab report on Monday? I thought it was next week. I thought they report on like the 10th. I could be wrong. Yeah, like what is this? November 10th Coinbase? Coinbase is already done. This is all messed up. But I guess the percentages say 100% chance of beat. So the market's already made its mind up. Another good reason for the markets or for these prediction markets, even if the code is messed up somehow, the markets will still sort themselves out because people will just buy up the remaining amount of contracts to lead it to 100%. Okay. Shopify with an 84% chance of beating, Uber with an 86% chance of beating earnings, AMD 82, Toast. Okay, so Toast is a big name that competes against Shift 4, and Shift 4 is way more hated. So look at this massive drop off here. This was probably Fiserv. Whenever people saw the Fiserv name, they dropped from 76% chance of beating to 60. What was the lowest? 61% chance. Okay, so that's quite interesting. Rivian 56% chance of beating. Pins 47. Beyond Meat 36. Whew. These are some interesting numbers. These rates are not as high as what we saw from big tech names earlier. Hood 84%, AppLovin 80%, ARM 82, Chime 60. Wow, dude, people are hating fintech right now. Okay, Celsius 55. Shift 4 reports on the 6th, I think. They don't even have a thing. That's how small this name is. Shift 4 is a $6 billion company. Airbnb 79%. GoPro 50%. Okay, cool. Fiserv cooked the payment names for sure, especially the point of sale terminal ones for sure. No FinTech Friday tonight. Crazy Cookie, thank you for reminding us. Okay, no FinTech Friday tonight. It's Saturday that we're going to have a FinTech Saturday show with the boys. That's what we're going to do. But ladies and gentlemen, it actually has to be a very quick episode for me, so I can't stay long. I've got a party to attend to. But thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. Meet back here tomorrow. Maybe I put out a video. I got to cover big tech earnings. I got to cover this new SoFi news. We got to cover a lot of this stuff. So I want to get back into posting daily videos. It's just really hard whenever we have these earnings at each and every day, mornings and nights and all this stuff. So the next couple of weeks are going to be busy. That said, appreciate your time. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.